Today we're going to talk about the elections that we'll have next Tuesday in Georgia, in Alabama, in Oklahoma, and in Virginia. For the first two, Georgia and Alabama, we'll have runoffs for Senate in Alabama, but also for governor in Georgia, for Senate in Georgia. A lot of runoffs specifically in the Republican side, as you know here. This is the early voting we already have in the state of Georgia. And as you see here in terms of total turnout, Republicans are leading with all around almost 150,000 votes delta when you compare the Democrats, Republicans in terms of turnout. So as you can see here, 500,000 people already voted. Early voting is until tomorrow. Now, of course, on Tuesday we'll have election day voting. We should expect election day voting to be more than 50% of the total vote. So I would say the turnout will be at 1.1, 1.2 million at total. I think that'll be. Of course, Republicans will win turnout because they have more important runoffs in their side. So if you go here to the races specifically, you can see the turnout is also bigger in the northern part of the state of Georgia, the one that borders with Tennessee and also with South Carolina. That's where the turnout is higher. And also you can see here in the cities like Columbus and also in the ex-suburbs of Atlanta. If you go here to governor side, let's go to Georgia just to show you. Maybe we can go here to Republican side. That's one of the parameters we'll have. Burt Jones and Rick Jackson, as you can see here, both went to a runoff, 38% and 3%. So Burt Jones did better here in the northern part of Georgia, and that's where the turnout is very, very high. That could be a great sign for him. As you can see here, Burt Jones did very great in those areas, reaching over almost 40% in some. Here in the southern part of the state, also very great for Burt Jones. Where did Rick Jackson did the best? Of course, here in Fulton County. It's the suburbans. That's the urban part of Atlanta. As you can see here, Rick Jackson got 31%. If you go here to Cobb, Burt Jones won, but it was very, very competitive. And in DeKalb, Brad won, but you can see here Burt Jones, Rick Jackson barely behind. As you can see here, that's where he did the best. If you go to the Senate, in the Republican side, we'll also have a runoff between Mike Collins and Derek Dooley. As you can see here, this is different. Why? Because Dooley, as you can see here by the color, he did better where? Atlanta and the suburbs around it. And where did Buddy Carter did well? Here in the southern part of the state. You can really see the division between Savannah and then go here. And the percentages are huge. I mean, you can see here just Chatham County, Savannah, 58% for Buddy Carter there. And if you go to Mike Collins, he did great here, getting over 50% in many of the counties. You go here to Cherokee and to Forsyth, almost 40%. When you go to the Atlanta metro, you can see here's Atlanta, for example, 45 for Dooley, 46 for Dooley, 39 for Gwinnett. So Dooley really needs a huge dump in that area, specifically here around Atlanta. Otherwise, he is, what we call it, gone. In this part here, in the northern part of the state, of course, Collins won by a very substantial margin, but Buddy Carter also very great in that regard. And now, I think we also have runoffs for lieutenant governor. That is true, but that is not very important. I mean, of course, it's important for Georgia, but not for Georgia people, but not for us. I mean, we're all talking about governor and Senate. So if you move now to other one that will have a runoff in Alabama, you can see here Barry Moore getting 39%, also Jaron Hudson getting 26%. So Hudson did better where? In Jefferson County, in all of the big cities around here, around Birmingham, and then you go to the more rural parts of the state and here in the black areas like Montgomery County and all of those here. Of course, Barry Moore was able to clinch ahead there. If we move to the Democratic side, also a runoff between Everett West and Derek Lariat. You see here very competitive as well. Lariat did better here in the northern part of the state, even though it is not very plausible for him to win this runoff. If you go here to the governor's side, in the Democratic side, nothing to worry about. In the Republican side, nothing to worry about as well. Maybe we can move here to the lieutenant governor races, but just for you to check what's happening. A lot of runoffs as well. If you move now to Oklahoma, because we'll have a gubernatorial election there up for grabs. Incumbent Republican governor, of course, term limit, cannot run for re-election again. And as you hear, of course, Oklahoma is a red state. I mean, he voted by, I don't know, maybe like 30 points for Trump or even higher. You can see here the candidates. And also, if you go here to the polls, we have Genter Drummond and also Mike Mazzei. Very competitive here. Of course, Trump endorsed him, endorsed Mike. We'll see about that when it comes to the election day, but still a very competitive election with more than 17% of people undecided. This is the poll after Trump endorsement, so we'll see about that in the Democratic primary. And we do have some candidates, but that's not important. They will not win this race. This will be a Republican safe seat when it comes to November election. Now we'll move to the Senate election in Oklahoma. Similar to the governor race, this is a Republican seat. This will be a Republican win again. So Mullin was first elected in the 2022 special election. That was, of course, he was entering appointment. It was confirmed as Secretary of Homeland Security, and then, of course, the governor nominated other person to of course occupy his job. If you look here to the polling, a very interesting race. 41% for Kevin Hearn, getting now 8 million. That was the one, of course, nominated by the governor. And 44% right now undecided. That's why these people here will be crucial to check if Kevin can actually win that thing or not. But of course, he's the favorite right now. In the Democratic side, we have a lot of candidates, not a lot of fundraising. Of course, Jim Priest is the one with 200,000 raised. Of course, we don't have polls because, again, she's not competitive. As you can see here, all of the predictions from the major outlets all saying solid R. If you move to the United States Senate in Virginia, of course, Mark Warner is the candidate, the Democratic candidate, the Democratic senator, and also the Democratic person that will win this. Of course, as you can see here, in 2008, I'm just going to show you to you because it's very interesting. When he won for the first time, look at a map in Virginia. Look at a map. A lot of blue counties. There's nothing. This is not the Virginia we are used to right now, because a lot of those blue counties, especially right here, they are now red, deep red, like by 80% or more. You can see here the precincts. Look at this. You barely can see red precincts right now, especially in this region right now. You can see here a lot of blue precincts. And this is Tazewell. I'm sorry, this is Buchanan. This is Tazewell right here. Right now, this is a lot of red counties and a lot of red precincts. And you can see here that were Democratic before. In the Democratic side, of course, Mark Warner raised over almost $22 million, and he will be the candidate. In the Democratic side, in the Republican side, a lot of candidates, minor candidates, but it will be a very interesting race between Kim Farrington and also Bert Miswawa, and we'll be waiting for that. Over 40% undecided. That's why it's so important to keep an eye on that. We'll wait for Tuesday. Polls in Virginia will close at 7. That's why it's so important to tune in, guys. We'll have a live stream, as you know, starting at 6:50 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to tune in the live stream. I think it will be very fantastic. And don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel, leave your like down below. We're now on track to 700 subscribers. That's amazing. I just want to say thank you guys for all the support. And see you in the next, which will be on Tuesday with a big live stream starting at 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time or 5:50 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much.